Hey everybody, it's Courtney coming back at you. I told y'all that I would be sharing more. People that have followed me on my own personal page on Facebook kind of know this story, but I'm going to elaborate more for folks that may be going through the same thing, live out in the country, and there's really no laws to make people behave, so to speak. Well, so backstory. Our neighbors moved in and they bought a double wide 2 years ago. Nice little quaint little couple when they moved in, very nice, hey, how you doing? And we would try to, just be the neighbor that you need to be, look out for their house. They had goats. Well, they ended up having two children. Now, we noticed that when she was pregnant with the first one, that the guy would not, he was yelling at her, like she would come home from work and mow the grass at 9 months pregnant. Like, he treated her like total bleh. Like, no man should treat a woman. Well, anyway, so after they had the first baby, the husband started drinking a little bit more or partaking in God knows what. So we eventually, the law started getting called more and more and more. Like, we had to trespass this guy at the beginning of this year because he would come over here at 2 o'clock in the morning, help me, she's killing me, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God, dude, like they have caused us to lose jobs. Like, and because nothing happens before midnight with them. It's all after midnight when the laws getting called, etc. So it's just very frustrating that, people don't have the simple respect for their neighbors. And they knew, like, we get up in the morning, like, at 4 o'clock to get ready for the day, and get ready to go to work, get the kids ready, feed the animals because we run a rescue as well, so the animals got to be fed, we got to prepare meals, blah, blah, blah. Well, so finally, we trespassed him at the beginning of this year, and earlier this year, about a month ago, I was coming home from work. Well, my husband was picking me up from work. Well, we get home, my 14-year-old runs out of the house and said, Mom, the neighbor come after me with the knife. So he was still out there, and I went over there. I said, what's your deal, dude? And he came after me with the knife. So called the law, and by the time the law got out here, because of where we live, he was already back on his property. Well, they were like, well, since we didn't see it, there's nothing that we can do. But they did. They was like, well, and by this time, the law had done been to their house countless of times. Here is a packet. Okay, and when I tell you, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 incidences on one sheet. There is a total that started on 8, this started at 8/19, to give you a reference, 8/19, 2023. They have been out to this house. No, never mind, it didn't start then. That it's the priority of the call. So, over the course of, I think these are all 23. No, this goes back to 2020 when they moved in. But I went today because we took charges out on them, finally, the magistrate, for the incident that happened. And the law has been to their house 167 times in 3 years. 167 times in 3 years. And like I said, when they get into arguments, they always come over here and involve us. Like, they'll knock on the door, she'll call 911, drop the call, and since we're within 1,000 feet of one another, the law knocks on my door first. Because when you call and and it pings within 1,000 foot of the address, they got to go to both houses. So I've literally been woken out of my sleep at 2:30 in the morning, banging on the door with 9 cops at my front door. And so you're not going back to sleep after that, because you got to wake up in another hour and a half anyway. So with that being, it's very frustrating. You live out in the country, and there's no laws out here for people that have to, quote unquote, behave after a certain hour. We don't live in the city. So you expect people to have common courtesy. You know, of course, they don't have it. Like, we used to put up their goats when they would get out, and they've already had their kids taken because of his behavior. They've had animal control out there because they won't take care of their animals. Their goats get in the road and they get run over. Like, we used to put them up for them, but now we can't because we're all trespassing each other. You know what I mean? So when they're not home and their goats get out, there's nothing I can do but call animal control, and he gets so mad. But at the end of the day, like, what are you supposed to do? And a lot of people I know are going to come on here and say, well, just move if it's so bad. Why should I have to move? And frankly, I don't have the money to move at this moment in time. I'm trying to save and put up money and, work the things that I need to work. And, it's called being, a common, decent person. If you know your neighbors are, have to get up early in the morning for work, don't be a douche. And, be out there, every now and again, yeah, you're going to get into arguments and it goes outside. But come on, like, at the end of the day, like, be better, do better, treat your wife better. Because, it's going to spill over. And that's, my recovery page, Ray of Hope of Happiness. I have, spoken, before we were on bad terms, offered to get him help. Like, dude, do you want help to get clean and sober? And he would turn me down and be like, no, blah, 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 we ain't got no problems. And that's another thing that's sad about it is the cycle, to see the cycle when you're sober. Like, because now, we're sober, been sober for 4 years. And, to see people going through that malicious cycle and bringing kids into the mix, it just makes you, look back on the mistakes that you made as a parent, if you had your children why an addiction. So I highly encourage you to, if you need help, reach out, and let somebody know. And, and I get it. It takes somebody going to their rock bottom in order to want to get help. I get that fact. We had to hit rock bottom. We had to end up homeless. We had to end up with not a penny in the bank. We had to end up, you have to want it. I get that fact. But there's a lot of people out here that are working and coping with alcohol and drugs and thinking that that's okay because they're working. That is farthest from the truth. Because in the end, it is going to take away from everything you love. That job will eventually be nothing but a money source for you to constantly stay high. And then you're not going to have enough money to feed your habit. And then you're going to, do other things. And it's just really sad. And our neighbors are not the only case that we know of this. I have family members that refuse to see the light of day. Refuse. They, and you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, so to speak. And, it's just very sad because when you've been there, you've done it, you got the blue ribbon for it, you've sat in jail, or you've lost this, or you've lost that, and you just want to shake them. You just want to shake them and be like, just wake up. Like, if you would get sober, life would be so much better. And I can't, and that's, one of the reasons, I want to create this community center type treatment facility. So, for those of you that haven't heard of what I want to do, I want to create like a mini village, so to speak, where we have the ability to help people that are in jail that are on MAT. Because here in our local jails, if you're prescribed MAT and you go to jail, they make you detox. You're not allowed your medication. That is a big no-no here. We don't have jail liaisons here, and that's another thing I want to work on. But this facility is going to be like a tier facility where we have a lockdown floor to help people that are, in jail that need that help. I'm advocating for more resources for people to be able to get sober and be able to get mental health help. Because here, Medicaid, contrary to popular belief, doesn't pay for everything. And doctors that do see mental health patients or have mental health disorders or for addiction, they're run-of-the-mill doctors. They truly don't care. And a lot of the treatment facilities that do take Medicaid, the only reason they're in it is from the money from the state. I have seen several, and they could care less if you work your program or not. The only thing that they care is that you come piss in that cup once a week, that you are there to make your appointment, and you talk to an online therapist once a month. That's all they're worried about. They could care less if you have a job and that job, work is 9 to 5. They don't work around any of that. And I want to create a center to where, it's 24/7. You can walk up, speak to somebody, get that help. There's no red tape attached. And that's something that I really, 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 really want to see in every community in the United States. We have to offer more programs. I posted a video earlier from JD DeLay where he is in, I think it's Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, where there's a program where some of these folks have just, habitual paraphernalia charges. And they're looking at 37 years. 37 years for a straw. 37 years for for some weed paper. There was one guy looking at 27 years for simple possession charges. Murderers get less time than we're giving people with simple possession charges and other charges. We need programs to where they go in, they work the program, they're required to do so much, and they're able to graduate, where we help build them back to a better person. Now, I have my own beliefs as to why the city and government doesn't want this in place. And it's going to take people coming together to say, nope, we're not doing this no more. We're not locking people up for 37 years for simple possession and the taxpayer paying it. We pay $50,000 per inmate per year. For one inmate. One inmate you pay $50,000 a year for. I would much rather that inmate or that person be able to get life skills, to be able to learn a trade, to be able to address their mental health problems, not stuck in a cell for 23 hours and going even more crazy up in here because they have nobody to talk to but a wall. And that's what a lot of people don't realize that's never been to jail or been to prison, is that them walls will turn you into a worse person. You'll come out a lot of times 10 times worse than you were before, unless it just completely humbled you and you're like, I'm done, I can't do it no more, and you want to live underneath a rock. There are some people that's come out, like JD DeLay, Jay Williams, Let's Live Life. There's people that's come out and they've changed their life around, and I'm so happy for that. And that's what it's about. That's living the dream. That is, saying, you know what, I am not going to be a product of the state. They're not going to get me anymore. I'm going to live for my family, and I'm going to do what's right. And at the end of the day, that's what this page is about. And, I kind of went in with my personal problems today, but I wanted you to, to see that it's all around us. It's all around us every day, and we need to spread kindness, to people. And I try to. I really do. And at the end of the day, I hated to do what I had to do with my neighbor because I know it's the addiction. But I have to look out for the welfare of my family. And when you're grabbing knives and weapons, that's no. So, but I highly encourage you, if you will, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to try to do better videos and do more videos. I'm going to try to upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and try to do some on the weekends. I'm going to learn how to link my accounts together so you can see my TikTok, my Facebook, and all that. But just bear with me. I'm new at this. And if anybody has any questions, if anybody wants to know where they can go for treatment, I will try to help you the best I can. But I encourage every one of y'all to, check on your loved ones today. Tomorrow's not granted. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. So make sure you tell somebody you love them today. Because, you know what? I love you. We all matter. And, God died for us all. And I'm so thankful for my higher power today. Because I wouldn't be sitting where I am today without the wake-up call that I got 4 years ago. I'm very thankful for that, and I hope each and every one of you that is, watching this today or watching it tomorrow, 3 years from now, I hope that, you have found recovery, or if, it's somebody that I hope they found recovery. But anywho, I'm going to get out of here for now. I've been on here 15 minutes just blabbing. But if you want to hear anything else about my story, or hear anything, or, if there's a subject that you want me to talk on, comment below and I'll do my best. But I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their day. And we'll talk to you later. Peace out.